Hi everyone, welcome to Heaven's Net. Welcome to Heaven's Love, which is the energy of Heaven's Net, as well as energy of life. So when we are living, we are loving. That means caring for living as humans. I will record this over here in my gym car, in my gym vehicle, simply because I am in between doing laundry, cooking lunch, and doing gardening. So now I have a little bit of break time. I got about a couple of minutes, so I would like to continue Heaven's Net on Heaven's Net. Before we were at live, learn, love, laugh, from differences to understanding, four or two solutions. There is a life to live for all. I would like to just touch base on this because just to touch base on what happened last time when I had videos. I will try to not point towards the camera because I know it's very uncomfortable when somebody is paying attention towards the camera and all of a sudden there are disturbances, especially if you are paying attention. So live, learn, love, laugh. If you really live, if you are really living, that means you are caring, caringly living your life, doing your things as a human. That's therefore accordingly human nature, therefore according human rights, international as well as universal human rights. There are 30 of them again, so they are very easy to remember. As a human rights specialist in my case, as well as a human nature human, for me it's much easier to live like a human. And then when we are living, when we are caring, we are always learning. Even if we are teaching, we are learning non-stop. Because it takes pretty much every individual to understand certain things in a certain ways better than in any other ways or in most ways. And a good teacher is a good student. A good student is a good teacher because he would pay attention to the other person, and we will pay attention to how to enhance, perhaps how to I almost said reinforce, but it's not a good word. How to improve, how to anyways, I think you know what you mean. The synergy, the relationship between between two individuals, or perhaps it is also true between anything. So maybe I will take off the vest and show you some muscles, not only my chest with this beautiful picture on this tank top. What do you think? Maybe a little bit later. This is the time of the commercial. Every show has a commercial. Okay, so when we are living, we are caring. We are caring. When we are caring, we are loving. When we are caring for life, life will care for us. When we are caring for human life, human spirit, human life will care for us, which is where we are belonging to, because that's who we are before anything else as human souls. Okay, now it's getting hot. I will take off I would say I will take off my shirt, but it's a vest. I will take off my vest. I will still keep the tank top on because maybe it will be a little bit too sexy. You know, I'm in a closed environment with half naked body. It's maybe who knows? Some people will might like it. Yeah, I got a new hat. Always wanted to get a new hat since a long time ago. Since the first hat I ever got, I was always going to get more new hats. As you can see, this hat is representing a store, one of my favorite store chain or business chain. Very awesome people, very good people. They are helping people, helping professionals, helping beginners, everything. He has red, white, green, which is the color for Hungary. Apparently, we are in Canada. We are on Vancouver Island, nearby Victoria in Langford, perhaps in this case, and all around this area here. This is a very popular business, very, very beautiful, amazing business. We love it. So, this was the commercial time. Let's get back to the why we are here. Live, learn, love, laugh. I had to pay for this hat, but if I do a good job, I might get some. Next hat might be free. Get a little bit of sponsorship going on there. So, you already talked about living, learning, now love. If we are really living, then we are actually loving, like I mentioned. So, then learning is all done nicely and comfortably in a way as you would wish to have a beautiful, pleasant, full, memorable experience. Believe it or not, we believe in our best memories, in our nicest memories, more than we can remember or believe in anything else. Like your most beautiful memories or mine are probably one of our most powerful backup power, backup plan. You know what I mean exactly. Uh, Life force energy is in there, and then as soon as we tap into it psychologically, it will, it will help us to have that experience energetically as well, then physically as well. So, good memories, making good memories is extremely important. This is all about, that, that's all what we meant to do actually, is making good memories, and then we are actually living, learning, loving. That means caring for the living, who is living, learning, loving, then we can laugh together. In that case, you can pretty much laugh together on anything, because in that harmony, in that peace, in that infinite, infinite as well as heavenly reality, everything is possible. Everything. From differences to understanding forward to solutions, there is a life to live for all. Technically, I just, I hope I did explain what this means already, simply by explaining its title. Yeah, so we are once again, just as a short summary, we have differences just to complete each other when we actually living our lives, as well as our lives between ourselves as human souls, as well as with the, which has a human physical manifestation, which is the human body, the human biological system. The two together will have a psychology. Ideally, as well as normally, as well as naturally, the human physiology as well as the human psychology is a manifestation of the human soul. The physiology is the physical one, the psychology is both. The energy with the material will apparently have personality. Okay, with behaviors. Okay. So, we are all different just to complete each other, and then when we do things humanly right, then that happens automatically. All we need to do is live accordingly human rights, which is explaining precisely what is human nature is all about. very important. This will always make human lives good. In northern region of Europe, as well as probably in most of the places actually, God knows why, in the northern regions where the or mountain areas, mountain people or highlanders, for us, I am just as much as a mountain human, mountain-like human as a beach man, not a beach man, a beach man, not a beach boy anymore. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But what I'm trying to say is, so there's a saying, God is good. Good means God. In Norway, it is actually written in the same way. I think this is it for Live, Learn, Love, Laugh. From differences through understanding 4 or 2 solutions. There is a life to live for all. Simply by using human right, this is the appendix. Everybody loves the appendix because when the appendix will be reconnected, then we will become even more godlike as well as angelic as humans. Okay, so yeah, the appendix for this is technically oh yes. So there is a life to live for all. That means by human right creative thinking abilities, which is adaptable, which is learnable, teachable, trainable. I can't say that you could perfect it, because when it comes to human right creative thinking as well as creative abilities, then it will result likewise events, then like happenings, then events, then memories by quality of nature exactly the same. So heavenly like ones, guided by infinity or within infinity, with infinity. I don't think there is better than that. So I can't really say there is a way to actually have a better quality than that, to improve. How you gonna improve what is actually heavenly as well as godlike as well as angelic? If it isn't really, then yes. But if once it is, then it's just perfect. Okay, so you may so the appendix is briefly, if some people would call these are briefs too. I have on the way. So so briefly, with humanly right creative thinking abilities, which will produce humanly right feeling, like emotional abilities, which then so now we have the creative ability, the thinking ability is there according to human nature, which is described precisely in the international human rights, or in the universal human rights, perhaps in all human rights which are actually legal of all countries and continents. They're meant to mean the same, maybe in a little bit different style, in a little bit different wording. They mean the same. So number one, human right creative thinking. We need to get there somehow. Sometimes I also need to listen to other people, or listen to things which are actually human right, or be inspired somehow visually, or somehow energetically somehow will be inspired just to get there, just to be able to tune into my own true nature, my own true soul quality. Alright, I got this tank top in Hawaii. On Hawaii, this is also a southern commercial. Don't worry, will only last a couple of seconds. Yeah, I'm just kidding. So, but it is true. This tank top is from Hawaii, from Walmart in Lihui. I can't have it. Everybody loves a good commercial, right? Okay. So next thing. So now we got human right creative thinking abilities. Now we're feeling human right. Now we will do human right things. Now we will have human right events or happenings, which we have, which are technically events becoming events, which are technically becoming memories. How about that? How about that for mental well-being? In real English, I would say for mental health. For real heal, then it's healed, then it's health. That's your. That's our. Yeah, that's our best shield. That's our best shield when we are capable of sustaining. And we got support. We got support. And that's. I started writing Heaven's Net in 2008. I was inspired by it, or maybe in 2007 actually. Yeah, 2007. But when actually it got online, it was later on. First I had it in a whole bunch of paper and everything. Anyways, so let's get back to okay, I think everybody got the how to live, learn, love, laugh. Hopefully. It's a process. It's work, it takes work, it takes preparation. It takes what I do, and most of my time is prevention of bad things and blocking of bad things. So the two goes together, but there is a way to do it. So when you introduce the bad things or the bad natures to something, what they actually capable of resonating with better than what they are not and trying to bother, or they're not trying to bother but they're just bothering because there is no alignment, there's no synchronized energy and nothing else with it too, because energy comes first and all the rest with it, right? Depending on the quality of it, by nature, quality of nature of it. So what I do is I, like, let's see a lot of mosquitoes there, I make sure there will be an environment for them which will be perfect. And I also make sure that they will get there because they will be attracted there. And that's what I care, love, care, you know. They get lost, it's not their fault, think about it. With the fluids and the pH balance sustaining abilities what the animal race yet has, because of the pollutions what got inside of them, then transform them into animalistic beings instead of human natured beings, or perhaps hybrids when it comes to human natured beings who got animal nature infections or animalistic qualities, which is most of the population today. So when it comes to that, we need to remember that they are, perhaps we are, victims in this regard, in that case. Yes, we are blessed because we are still alive, we are still living. This is what the next material will reflecting on. So being thankful for living, for life, will also create the same reality by example for other words. Words between words. That's planet Earth today. Or perhaps the universe. Okay, this is in Hungarian. Az örökkévalóság részei is. This means that something is part of eternity also. Probably the letters, they look Russian because they are, I don't really know if they are backwards also, and maybe upside down too, or just backwards. Then it will be a mixture of languages, not only Russian. Lots of languages they're using words upside, or they look like they are words upside down. I mean letters, not words, and then like letters, then of course words too. Some, or here and there at least, or partially. Languages and linguistics, really really amazing. I would advise anyone to learn or to dig into linguistics and written skills and history, like chronological facts, because it's amazing the connections you will find between languages by the sound or by written information or by the characters of the letters is truly magical. Okay, so again, here's a little bit more Russian. It probably looks like Russian. Yeah, maybe I will try to read it backwards, and then the Russians will understand it. She is zer Kasholava Koroz. Hopefully it made some sense in Russian. Az örökkévalóság részei is. So in Hungarian this means that of course the reason why the written information is developed there, which is a good thing. So it's not a bad thing that languages are being written all in all the way you can. And also there are languages you can read from here, some you can read from like there, some you can some you can read like this, some you can read like that. No kidding, some you read like this. Yeah. There are codes. There are very very interesting languages. They will always tell you how to read it before you start, like ancient languages. Okay, Orokkevalosag részei is. So this is also a part of, that means that something is a part of eternity also. That means part of the dying world as well as part of the world which never dies. And in a way, let's be honest, when everything circulates around in a cycle, in one way or another, more or less, God knows how many circles are around there. God knows with what directions. God knows with what type of natures. Right? So in this world today, we are living in two realities instead of in one. One is the animal nature reality, which is acidic natured, because they are victimized by acidifications, chronologic acidifications. That means like genetic, like long term. They got locked by a bug poison, bug nature, to bug race nature, which is animal nature. Why did that happen? And how to get them back? That's another story. Okay. For now, we are because I don't wanna. I gotta do laundry, so I gotta go through this. Okay, so this world today is part of the dying world as well as part of the eternal world, the human world. But eventually, because now the whole thing became a big life cycle as well as a death cycle. But again, those which were death physically will become life again, because the spirit will always remain. That's what we believe. Okay, another one is Maskeppen. So that was the title. And then now we're gonna dig in over here. We're gonna read it in Hungarian and then translate it in English. And then eventually, when this material will be published, it will be in English as well as a Hungarian translation. Because these materials came to me, this information came to me in English as well as in Hungarian. So I I owe this much respect to these two languages to do that so like that. And then once they will be published, then I will look for professional translators from all around the world who will be able to help me to translate to French, Italian, Spanish, and all languages, whoever languages, Norwegian, Swedish, German. Yeah, I don't have to say anymore. I love German, right? Okay, Hebrew. Right? Okay, really any languages, which whoever likes it will get it. Másképpen ugyanazt eredményezni az egy állandóság része. That means that differently resulting the same thing, it is also a part of a constant being, a constant state, like an eternal state. When someone is producing, resulting the same thing but differently, it is also a part of a certain type of infinite nature. Like a constable, like something like constellation, something what remains like permanent, like state of how about. Now in this case, what's important for us humans is to realize the type of nature, what what is getting reproduced, what is getting re-resulted, but differently. Because if you think about it, scientifically, by neurological facts or non-neurological, numerological facts, that means like like calculatable facts with numbers, with simple numbers, and in the quantum world, the basic reality could be characterized by 9 numbers. But the basic environment, the characteristics of the environment around us basically could be characterized by 9 numbers. And if you have anything extraordinary, then you can extend it to 11 or 12, and then that's it. That tells a story. That's 12 numbers. There are different communications. This is in the esoteric world, where in esoteric world everything has a value. Everything could be looked at esoterically. Everything could be looked at to quantum mechanics and mathematics and quantum realities, and also could be looked at in a 2D dimensional, to the 2D dimensional perspectives instead of the 3D plus, which is the simplicity, the simple word, the primitive word, and where 1 plus 1 equals 2. In the quantum world, because they are the same coordinated, so they have the same value, 1 plus 1 equals with all the values of the rest of the numbers too. Like all the numbers are completely have like equal, completely equal. That's the value. That's the value of the nature. Okay, now we share. We have both. We have quantum reality, and we also have the simple reality, the singular reality. And like some people would say, it's getting hot in the car. Maybe you can see I'm sweating, but it's good. I love this hot house effect in my dream vehicle. This is my favorite place to hang out at the moment. We don't have a beautiful beach, like like how specific ocean has beautiful beaches, like tropical beaches with fruit trees and all kinds of vegetables and no fishes in the beach water. beautiful white sandy beach. We don't have that over here, so I created an environment in here. It works. Sometimes I put on they call it white noise,